Hi Chandan, can you hear me? Hi Chandan.
Yeah, and
Yeah, you're clearly audible.
yeah.
Uh, can you please try sharing your screen once so that we are sure that everything is working well?
Right. Just doing it. So, okay, one second. Okay, yeah. Start presenting, right?
Mm.
Yeah, I think you can see it now.
Yes, I can see your screen. You are able to see all the options now: chat, doubts, ask questions. I mean, and this learning platform.
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
see everything. Yes.
Okay. Okay, then all is good. Yes, then let's get back in the next 10 minutes, and then we'll begin with the session. Thank
ठीक
you,
है done.
Chandan.
Yeah.
Okay. Chandan, it seems your mic is still on, so you may put it on mute if needed.
Sorry, and hello.
Yeah. So Chandan, it seems your mic is still on, so if you want, you can put it on mute.
Okay. Sure,
Okay,
sure.
yeah. Let's start.
All
Okay.
right. Yeah.
Hey, hi Chandan, welcome back.
Hi, Anand.
Uh, so yeah, we still have 2-3 minutes. I mean, we just have one more minute, but we'll wait so that other learners can join. Meanwhile, once they join, then we'll
Yeah,
begin with the session.
sure, sure. We just have one person so far, right? So let's wait.
Yeah, yeah. So yes, we'll wait for a couple of minutes and let's then start.
Right, right.
Thank you.
In the meanwhile, Anand, I just noticed in my mail that I have one mail from a session for 7 to 9 in the evening today. You're the moderator. Is it there or is it a mistake?
No,
Because
no, no. So yeah, yeah. So that was. I mean, the session was already created, but
okay,
then we decided later on that we need not have
right.
it. So
Okay, okay.
please
So
ignore that. It's
okay.
just the seven. Yeah.
Sure, sure, sure. Sounds good.
Good afternoon, learners. We are waiting for your peers to join, and we shall begin in a while. Thank you for joining on time.
Sure.
And then it seems let's start with the session, and meanwhile, I think learners will join. So
Okay.
yeah, very good afternoon, everyone, and a warm welcome. I am Anand, and I'll be your moderator for this session. We have our today's session on predictive analytics and decision making by our industry expert, our own Chandan Singh. We all know him very well. He has a rich experience of over 15 years now into the field of marketing, and he has been a successful corporate trainer, digital marketing trainer, and many other areas. So, yes, here we welcome him today for this session. Thank you all for joining in, and thank you, Chandan, for being here. And here we start with this session. Also, I'm so sorry, I just forgot to mention. Learners, please feel free to post your queries in the chat itself. You, on the right hand side, you will see an option of chat. In that, you may post your queries, and channel will take it in between the sessions whenever possible. So, thank you all, and here we begin. Thank you. Over to you, Chandan.
All right. Thank you, Anand. And once again, very good, afternoon to all of you. I hope you guys are doing good. So Anand already introduced me, so I think we can jump right into the session. So this is a session on predictive analytics. We're going to be using Google Analytics for this. But again, I hope most of you who are in the session have actually gone through the Google Analytics course, which is, on your upgrad LMS, because this is kind of, assuming that you already have at least a basic knowledge of Google Analytics. And we are going to talk about how to use Google Analytics to make decisions and kind of understand everything that goes on in there. Okay, so that's how we will take this session. So let's quickly do a quick knowledge check here. How many of you have finished off your sessions on Google Analytics? The one that's available on the Upgrade LMS. Okay, so let's see, getting a few responses. Vandana has done it. How about the rest? I would prefer the session to be as interactive and engaging as possible. So, kind of don't just sit and watch. I would request everybody to get involved and engage as much as possible, because that would keep me interested as well. if nobody's responding and if I'm just talking to myself, trust me, I'll get bored pretty soon, and then the session won't be effective. So let's all interact as much as possible. So I see about 5 or 6 guys in the session right now. Please make sure that all of you respond. So far, only Durgesh and Vandana have said yes. So I'm going to assume that most of you have gone through the basics at least and have at least created your Google Analytics account. Is that done? You have access to the demo account from Google. Okay, Durgesh said yes. Others? Do you have access to the Google Analytics demo account? Okay, so just one person responded. Anyways, if you don't, it's pretty simple. I would request everybody to kind of go to analytics.google.com and sign in with your Gmail ID, Gmail address. So Gmail or Google address, whatever it is, you can sign in with that if you're logging in for the first time. So again, if you're doing it for the first time, simply go to analytics.google.com and sign in with your Gmail address. Once you're done, go to the new tab and search for Google Analytics demo account. So you'll find this right here, Google Analytics demo account. Search for this. Open the first result that shows up. And if you scroll a little bit down, you will see this option of accessing demo account. Okay, so just click on it, and this will allow you to access the Google demo account, the Google Analytics demo account, which is provided by Google. Again, you can, if you want email communication from Google, you can keep it on. I'm just going to uncheck it. Right, so now you have access to the Google Analytics demo account for a site called the Google Merchandise Store. This is a site. So if I go to store dot, it's actually hang on, it's shop or store, something like that. I'm not really sure what that store is. So yeah, shop.googlemerchandisestore.com. So this data that you see in Google Analytics now within the demo view is actually from this site called googlemerchandisestore.com. And this site is pretty much just for demo. Google started this site very long time ago, and then it kind of stopped focusing on their e-commerce business. The site is still active. People still make purchases and they use the site, but Google is basically doing nothing with the site. It's I would say it's a pretty a low quality site, but at least we have some data that we can use to learn and understand Google Analytics, and this is why this is a really good source. So all the data that you see here in the you can see at the top, Google Merchandise Store, it's actually coming in from this site, and we will be using this as a demo. So I hope all of you have access to this. Let me know that quickly. Okay, so Roshan joined in saying yes. I would actually prefer all of you guys, I mean, again, those who are in there, to keep the session as interactive as possible. So all of you, please do this, the exact same thing which I have done. Log into the demo store, because I'll start off by kind of asking you a few questions just to get an idea of how well do you understand Google Analytics. I'm going to kind of do a couple of simple exercises with you guys. So it's good if you guys can follow along. So let me know if you guys are there, if you have opened up the demo account. So Durgesh and Roshan have responded with a yes. All right, so move ahead. So I'll be asking you a couple of questions, but before that, let's all kind of look at the same date range so that we are looking at the exact same data, right? So what I'm going to do is, and you guys, those who have logged in, do the same. Click on the date drop down, and we will move roughly about 1 year back, when there was no COVID issue, when people were actually buying frequently from the site. So no corona issues, the site was functioning effectively. So let's roughly go 1 year back. So go down to July of 2019. Okay, so that's what I want to focus on, July of 2019, or maybe select the whole 3 months from July all the way up to September. So click first on 1st of July and then on 30th of September. So I'm looking at data from July 1st to September 30th, and I'm going to click on apply, so that again all of us are looking at the data for the exact same time period. Okay, and now this is my question for you. Let me undo this. I think I had this on just a little while ago. Yeah. So this is my question to you guys. So look at the report, and again, since I believe you guys have gone through the basics of Google Analytics, tell me again for the month of July. For the months from July 1 to September 30th of 2019, for the Google Merchandise Store, what percentage of mobile sessions actually came from direct traffic? Okay, so I want you guys to dig deep into the analytics reports, set your time period to what I have done, July 1st to September 30th, and answer this question: what percentage of mobile sessions is coming from direct traffic? Once again, it's not as straightforward as this seems, so don't be in a rush to simply go to a report and give me an answer. Once again, look at this question. I'm looking at a percentage, I'm looking at mobile sessions, I'm looking at direct traffic. So at least three things. So what percentage of mobile sessions is coming from direct traffic? I want you guys to answer this question as quickly as possible. I'll give you guys 2-3 minutes. You either know this or you don't. It's a fairly straightforward process. So I'll leave the question on the screen once again. Okay, I need to shift here to look at the responses. All right, so it's about 2:12. I'll give you about a couple of minutes to solve this. So I hope you guys are trying to solve this. I'm giving you a couple of minutes. Look into the reports, look at the question carefully, understand what I am really looking at, and then give me an answer. All right, anybody? If you're attempting this, at least let me know in the chat by saying a yes, so that I know I'm not wasting time just waiting while nobody's actually attending this. Okay, so you guys are doing it. Good. So yeah, you've got about precisely 1 more minute. Let me know if you have the answer. What percentage is it? All right, so looks like nobody got it yet. Time up, and I'm going to basically look at the answer now. So, okay, kind of sad that nobody even attempted anything. You should have at least given me some answer. Wrong or right doesn't really matter, but you should have made an attempt at least. But anyway, so look at the question again. Okay, so Roshan says 29%. Roshan, how did you get to that number? If you can type on the chat. But yeah, let's look at the question. I'm not sure if that's right. Let's check again. So we'll do it right now. So again, I'm looking at a percentage of mobile sessions coming from direct traffic. So if you see, the session is about predictive analytics, right? And insightful data and so on. So you want data to answer questions, straightforward questions like how many people came to the website or what is the bounce rate on the website. All that is not really telling you much about the performance, right? So, and if when you want to answer questions like this, what percentage of mobile sessions is coming from direct traffic, or what percentage of mobile sessions is adding to revenue of the site. All of those questions are something that your bosses or your seniors or your business will ask, and there's no way to directly access this data. So you'll have to learn to start digging deep, combining different reports and coming up with appropriate answers. So in this case, if you look at the question itself, I'm looking at least two different, not at least, I'm looking at two different dimensions. Mobile sessions is one dimension and direct traffic is another dimension, right? So another metric, mobile sessions and direct traffic. How do I measure this? So there's no one way of doing this. I think you got 29%, somebody got 29%. You probably did this. You went to, I believe, technology right here, and then you probably, sorry, not technology, but mobile, and you probably went to devices or overview, and you looked at some of these reports. I'm not really sure how you got this, so you probably went to overview for mobiles, and you did something like that. Maybe you looked at, I don't know, you looked at traffic. I'm not sure how you did this, but here's the right way of doing this. Since I'm looking at two different reports, mobile sessions, so in my mobile overview, I am getting data for mobile, right? But that is actually giving me data for all mobile users. I basically want direct traffic only. So this is the second dimension. And if you look into Google Analytics, you have this primary dimension setup, which is device category, but you also have this option for a secondary dimension right here. Okay, and if I kind of go inside of this, I can access my direct traffic. What is direct traffic? Direct traffic is basically a medium, right? So if you know source and medium, again, you must have looked at source and medium reports. So for example, source and medium will have something like social and Facebook, right? So source is Facebook and the medium is social. So in this case, I'm going to look at, I'm going to add a secondary dimension called medium, and I can find this right here. Now my devices are showing up all the different mediums. So desktop across organic, desktop across referral, desktop across affiliate, and so on. Mobile across organic, mobile across none, mobile across something else, and so on, right? Now I need only mobile data. So what I'm going to do next is go to this filter here, and I'm going to type in mobile right here. Okay, and going to click on search because I'm not interested in desktop or tablets. I'm only interested in mobiles. So I'm going to filter mobile out of here. Right, and now I get all mobile specific data only. So that is the first part, and I'm looking at percentage of mobile sessions coming from direct traffic. What is my direct traffic? Direct traffic is clubbed under none, basically. Okay, so mobile and none, which is basically 17% is what I get over here. So yeah, 29% wasn't correct for this specific range, July 1st to September 30th. What percentage of traffic came from direct traffic? That's 17. What percentage came from organic? That was 64, and so on, right? What revenue was generated from, let's say, direct traffic coming on mobile? That was 1,381, right? So all these questions can only be answered if you start combining different dimensions. And the whole reason I asked this question, it's a very simple question, but it does throw a lot of people who are simply used to looking at default built-in reports right here. And if you really want to be successful with Google Analytics, you pretty much want to avoid looking at any of, not avoid, I mean, these reports are good, of course. So if you kind of close them all up, Google gives you tons of reports. There's real-time audience acquisition behavior, and if I dig deep into this, I find lots of other reports as well. But these are all kind of built-in reports. You don't need to be a specialist to find any reports or to access any reports. Anybody can log in and check all these data. So I can go to audience overview, for example, and I can get reports on how many users came between this period and what was the number of visits and how many new users and bounce rate and time spent per session and all that. I could do all of that, right? But again, you don't have to be an expert to do this. Anybody can log in and access this. So when you talk about being a Google Analytics expert or making a career in Google Analytics, what you really want is what you really want to develop is an ability to look at data and combine different parts of data which are kind of useful or relevant to your business goals, and then find the story hidden behind that data. You need to be able to figure out what is really happening with data, what all things you need to be worrying about. What's the story there? What's the action that you can take looking on the data? So if you just tell me that 150,000 users came to the site between July and September, that data is, to be honest, useless for me. I mean, so many users came, so what? How does it help me improve my website? Just that number by itself does nothing for me, right? So this is, so if you really want to, again, like I said, make a career in Google Analytics, you have to start looking at actionable data or insightful data. So whenever you hear the word analytics, what you should really be thinking or hearing is actionable analytics or insightful analytics. That is something that you should focus on. I hope that is kind of making sense. So yeah, the answer that just one answer came actually, and that was not correct, but hopefully you're seeing the picture now. Okay, so let's okay, so let's do another quick test again. So let me ask you another question. What age and gender combination have given you the most revenue? So this should be a little bit more clear. What age and gender combination gives you the most revenue? So I'll type that question again. So second question, if you got this point, you should be able to answer the second question. What age and gender combination resulted, come on, in the highest revenue? So these are questions that businesses will typically ask of you, and you should be able to figure that out. So again, based on what I just explained, I think this second one should be very simple. So quickly give me this answer. I'll give you just 1 minute for this because it's extremely simple. Sanchita says, can you please share the link for Google Merchandise? Yes. You mean the demo, sorry, the demo account, right? All right, so just go to Google and search for Google Analytics demo account. Google Analytics demo account, click on this, the first result that you get. Just scroll a little bit down and you will see this access demo account link. Just click on it and you will be able to access it. All right, in the meanwhile, those of you have it, you should have got it by now. What age and gender combination resulted in the highest revenue? It again, as a tip, it pretty much uses the same kind of process that I just showed you. It's pretty much the same thing. So Sanchita came up with the first response. Females 25 to 34. Okay, we'll check in just a moment. I'm not sure I don't know what's the right answer. Okay, we have two different answers. Sanchita says females 25 to 34. Roshan says males 25 to 34. Okay, so we have two different answers. I don't know which one is correct. I don't know which one is what's the right answer anyway. So let's go back and do it. So analytics, again, my question is, what age and gender combination resulted in the highest revenue, right? So again, I have two different dimensions that I'm looking at. I'm looking at the age dimension. I'm looking at the gender dimension. So if I go back, I can start with either. I can start with age as my primary dimension and add gender as a secondary, or start with gender and add age as a secondary, so it doesn't really matter. So I'll go to demographics and I can basically start off with anyone. So age and gender, right? Let's start with the second one. Let's go to gender. And for gender, I am with gender as my primary dimension, I'm going to add a secondary dimension of age. So I got age right here. So I'm going to add that as a dimension. And then I get revenues right here. So I'm going to basically sort it. So I'm going to click on revenue to sort it in the right order. So again, for this period of July 1st to September 30th, highest revenue was 795, which is basically given to me by a combination of females aged 55 to 64. So again, incorrect answer from both of you. This is how you do it. So again, sorted by revenue, and I can see that the highest combination, the highest revenue was given to me by this combination of females 55 to 64. So what was the mistake? What is that you didn't get? Sanchita says we saw the users, okay, not revenue. Okay, my question was clearly revenue, right? What age and gender combination resulted in the highest revenue? Okay, so you got the point, the mistake that you guys were making. And that's all right, because I guess you guys have probably just barely finished the basics of Google Analytics. So it will take some time and effort for you to go ahead and kind of move on to the more intermediate and advanced stages. But the whole point of this this webinar is to show you Google Analytics is much more than those built-in reports. Sanchita says, can you show again? Yes, of course. So again, I'm looking at two different dimensions. One is age, one is gender. So you can start with gender as your primary and add age as your secondary dimension, or you can start with age and add gender as your secondary. Any of those methods will work. So I went to gender and I basically added age as my secondary dimension, and I sorted it by revenue right here. So highest revenue is 795, which was provided by females in the age range of 55 to 64. Okay, that is how you do it. So again, I hope this one was simple enough, because if you kind of followed the same principle. So I'm going to ask you one more question. I'm not going to do this. Look at it and then try to figure that out yourself, because we have to move ahead. So try this in your own free time and see if you can get the right answer. So what I really want you guys to do is, let me think of a question. Okay, this is the question. What percentage of, let me make it a little tricky for you. So New York Metro, okay, revenue, or okay, do this, landed on the homepage. This is again pretty simple. I'm not going to solve this for you. I'm not going to ask you guys to do it right now, but you can go ahead and do it once in your free time, just to check if you have got the concept or not. What percentage of the New York Metro landed on the homepage? Okay, so again, I'll just give you one hint quickly. You probably want to go to the countries. You probably want to go to geo, go to location, and find that out from there. So you got United States. You can click on United States. You probably do not know that they have a dimension called metro. So you have to look inside of there. Okay, so geography, location, select United States, and within United States, you have something called your primary dimension can be metros. So again, in this case, the question which I have is New York Metro. So again, this is one dimension. You can make this as a primary dimension if you want, and that is something you will find inside of here, metro. So you can click on metro, and you will find the New York Metro right here. Okay, so do not go to region and then choose New York from there. You got 7252 here. If you go to Metro, you have different results here, 7955, so don't get confused. I asked not for the New York City, but the New York Metro, and this is right here. Okay, so again, rest of it, it's totally up to you. I think it's simple enough now. You can go to the secondary dimension, find homepage, and get the right answer. So again, try it out on your own. But the whole point, the period, yes, was July 1st to September 30th. Roshan, yes, that was the date range. All right, let's move back. So what you just saw was, basically using Google Analytics to answer specific questions. These are all specific questions that a business will ask, and there are no built-in reports that will help you do this. Okay, so you need to start looking at manipulating Google Analytics. Google Analytics does give you lots of interesting data, so it's the built-in reports are good, like I said, but if you want to answer specific questions, you'll probably not find any direct report just like that. You'll have to kind of do a combination of different reports, and adding primary dimension along with the secondary dimension is something that most people are either not aware of or I have not seen people do. I'm talking about 90% of people that I've actually consulted with. They kind of ignore all of this. I don't know why, but yes, these are all these options that you can start using and start making a difference, right? So you can do something like that. All right, so let's move on to some other. There's one more thing I want to talk about here. So let's say I go to behavior, and let's go to site content and landing pages, for example. Okay, and let's say I want to find how many people from India go to the homepage of not homepage or basically it's at a secondary dimension of a country, and I just want to look at people from visits from India and see how many pages are getting what kind of traffic. So I can go to secondary dimension and I can search for. I can add a secondary dimension of country, right? So this is one more way of kind of finding very specific data. So my question again was, how many people from India land on this site, or which are the primary landing pages for people coming from India? Which are the top landing pages for people coming from India? So I see India right here, US, India, Japan, and so on. So now, how can I see reports only for India? What's the way for me to do this quickly? How can I find only India? I don't want to see United States or UK or Canada or Japan. I only want India here. How do I do this? Quickly. No idea? Sanchita says country India, type India in advanced filter. Okay, Roshan, you're on the right track. So you mean here, right? I should type India here. All right, so will that work? What do the rest of you think? And once again, just two of you responding. Why is that? Others not getting it, not interested, or what's the reason? So Vandana also says India in advance. Okay. So you mean this, right? If I type India here and search on and find and click on search, it will give me the right result. What do you think? Is that what you also said, Vandana? And who else was there? Sanchita. All right, so let's do this. I'm going to click on search, and even though I see that there are visits from India, you'll see actually 0 when I click on this. So if I search, I have combined two different dimensions here, but when I search for this, I get 0 sessions. Now that's not true, right? I did see some visits from India. Why is Google telling me that there are 0 sessions? Any guesses? That's okay. No need to get surprised. This does happen. See, these are little things that people. I'll trust me. Even experts make a mistake on. I conduct so many seminars, so many workshops. I visit so many companies. I consult with a lot of businesses, and these are little things that people are not aware of. So you don't have to be surprised or sad. But can you guess why this is giving me 0? Because if I remove the filter, I do see that there are visits from India for sure. But the moment I try to filter it by India, or maybe let's say, is it case sensitive? Let's try India exactly the way this is written here. Capital I, search again. I'm going to get 0. Any guesses why? No, right? That's because when you search for anything in this filter here, by default, it searches for the primary dimension. So it's looking for India here in the primary dimension. What is my primary dimension? It's landing page. So I'm not applying this filter here, only gets applied to the primary dimension, not to the secondary dimension. And that is why you're not seeing this. Excuse me, just give me a second. All right. So what do we do for this? We go to advanced, and here we switch the dimension. Okay, so you can either choose landing page or country. So these are the two dimensions I'm using. Excuse me. And you have to use only one of them, right? So I mean, you can use only one of them, but in this case I want country, not the primary dimension. So I want to only include traffic that contains where the country contains India. Now I can search for India. I'll even get a drop down search for this. Click on this and apply. Now I should see which are the top home pages, not home pages, sorry, top landing pages which are being visited by people in India. So you can see Indians are visiting homepage. The second most important page is the men's t-shirts page. Third one is YouTube video, I guess, shop by brand, store, and so on. I can now see all this because I applied an advanced filter. So again, this was a very simple mistake, but whenever you search in this filter here, if you see unexpected results, always remember that when you search from here, it's basically searching from the primary dimension, not on the secondary dimension. So if you want to basically go into the advanced field and then select your dimension right here. Okay, I'm going to now cancel and clear off this. So that's something that you should be using. All right, I hope that's clear. All of you? All right, great. So a couple of responses. Fine. So the whole point of this exercise, I'm going to repeat myself again, is that Google Analytics is not just a bunch of reports. These are some awesome reports. So first of all, be completely familiar with all the different reports that you have access to. And you don't have to remember all of them. Just understand that Google has done a great job combining these reports into something that makes a lot of sense, into very, very meaningful reports. So if you go from top to bottom here, you'll see that we got real-time audience acquisition, behavior, and conversions, and there's a certain logic to this. Real-time, I don't really bother with too much because real-time is pretty much only used for testing. So once I have installed my Google Analytics tag and I am kind of interested in just seeing whether it's working or not, whether events are firing on the page, and testing any sort of a testing purpose, I basically go to real-time and see what's happening on the site right now, whether any events are firing. So I can go to events and see if any events were fired. Right now, a couple of events got fired. Enhanced e-commerce. I can see that there are 25 people on the site active right now. 92% of them are on mobile, which is not a surprise. More and more people are actually using mobile for this. 8% are on desktop, and so on and so forth, right? So this is pretty much used for testing. So I hardly ever bother with real time, but these other 4 reports are very useful. Audience acquisition, behavior, conversion, they basically tell you, who are the people who came to the website. So audience tells you who are the people who came to the website. Acquisition tells you how they came to the website. Behavior tells you what they did on the website, and conversion tells you what are the results, right? So who was the person who came to the website, how did they come to the website, what they did on the website, and what was the result for you. So these are the 4 reports. So if I want to figure out what pages people saw, it's like what they did on the website, right? So I know that that's inside of the behavior section. I can go to behavior, go to site content, and I can see all pages and so on. Which countries people came from, right? So I know that that's audience. Who are the people? Where did they come from, right? So that's under audiences, and I can go to geography, right? So it's a pretty logical grouping of reports basically, and you can. Okay, Sanjita has a question. Please repeat real time. So real time basically just shows you what's happening on your site currently. This is not something you use for your monthly or weekly reporting. This is just for testing if the site is working properly or not. That's it. So I can go to overview and I can see if it's capturing data. I can see that 27 people are on the site right now, 85% on mobile, 11% on desktop, and 4% using tablet. So it basically shows you what's happening on the site right now. Other than that, it's not very useful. Everybody uses real time only for testing purposes. These are the reports which are important: audience acquisition, behavior, and conversions. And it's a good idea to look at all these reports. But in order to be successful, in order to be able to answer questions like these, answer business related questions, or answer important questions which are which your seniors or which your bosses are looking for, you have to understand how to combine the different reports, how to use different segments, how to use filters, and that is pretty much the topic for today. Okay, so this is what we will be focusing on. Now, before we get started with all of that, there's just one quick thing I am going to talk about, which is the first thing is, of course, to ensure that Google Analytics is capturing clean data. Okay, if you're not getting clean data, website is full of robots or these spiders, these crawlers, spam bots, and so on. So these are not real people, but basically people use these bots for scraping data on the internet. And at any given time, most websites today, most websites that are getting traffic today, there's always a chance of a lot of spiders and a lot of these spam bots visiting your website. So there are a couple of ways in which you can ensure that your site is getting clean data and you're basically blocking any spam data. So one of the methods is, of course, you go to admin. This is something we do right after setting up Google Analytics. So we go to admin section, and inside of your view, there's something called view settings. So if you go to view settings, there will be a checkbox here that says bot filtering. So bot are basically, these are known spam bots and known spiders that you want to avoid. You don't want to count them as people, okay, because these are not people. They are simply hitting your website and increasing your view count. But these bots are basically used by people to kind of scrape information and data from other websites. So let's say I want to find any email address which is available on the internet. I could use Python to create specific bots, and I could basically let them run on the internet, go to random websites, check all the pages, and find any email address that they can find, and basically save a copy of that email address, right? So that is called scraping, and there are thousands of people, or pretty much millions of people all around the world who are using these bots and spiders to kind of capture data on the internet. So all these data mining companies, they are doing this. They are using bots and spiders to capture such data, and you do not want them to be included in your Google Analytics reports. So the one thing is, always go ahead and do this. Now, this doesn't always work because Google is basically just going to filter out known bots and spiders. Depending on what kind of a site you have, you might still be getting in some spam traffic. So there's one more way of doing this. So first of all, make sure that the bot filtering is on. That is something you should always do. To do this, come to your Google Analytics account, select the right account property, and then go to the view settings and make sure that this one is on. Bot filtering is on. All right. Second way of doing this is actually by creating manual filters. So you can go to filters, and you can basically do something like this. Again, I'm not able to do this because I am into Google Merchandise Store. I only have read access to this. I cannot make any changes. So just for this, just for a quick moment, I'm going to switch to another account which I own. It's not a brand. It's a website which has which I recently started. It doesn't have a lot of data, but I can use this to actually show you this particular example. So I'm going to go to this page. So I'm going to I'm in a different account right now, and I can see that I have a filter right here. Let me remove any filters because I will talk about filters. So remove filter. So if you go to your filters, if it's a brand new Google Analytics account, you'll not find any filters. You can use filters for multiple reasons. One of them could be to basically block out any spam or any unwanted traffic source that you know is hitting your website, and you know that that is something you do not want. So you can click on add filter, and you can basically do this. Exclude any traffic which is coming from a specific, you can go to custom, by the way, not predefined, but go to custom, and you want to basically exclude any traffic which is coming from specific, let's say, medium that has words like, free or, offer. So this character that you see is called the pipe character. It means or. So exclude any traffic which has a medium of free or offer or, discount or, again, something like this. Come on. Now, I cannot give you a filter pattern because this pattern is going to differ from one site to another. You have to look at your own analytics data and kind of, block this out. I'll give you one example of how this spam looks like. If I go to Google and search for, I'll give you a very specific example of this. So Google Analytics, congratulations to Trump. Okay, sounds weird, but let me show you what I exactly mean. Go to images. So something like this, right? Click open image in a new tab. So spammers will actually try to send random data to your website. So I'm looking at something called language section of my Google Analytics. If I quickly go back here and let's do this actually. So let's go to audience. Let's go to okay, where's the language option? Demographics. No, not demographics. Sometimes I don't remember this. So just do this search language here. It's not easy to remember very exactly. Audience geo language. Okay, it was in the geo. So geo, and you can find language. Let's go over there. So it shows you all the different languages which people are using. Let's choose a kind of a bigger data here. So let's go all the way from October to current. Just want to include a wide date range. So these are all the different languages which are being used. And sometimes people will inject spam data inside of your analytics. And this is one good example of this. See, in this Google Analytics report, and this was, and I searched for this one. Congratulations to Trump, because when Donald Trump's I don't know, these people were running their campaigns, they were actually using this strategy a lot by, injecting spam data into Google Analytics just to kind of promote Trump. And you can see this right here. Congratulations to Trump. It appears inside of language of all the places. And there were similar things appearing all across Google Analytics data accounts. So this is a classic example of spam. This is a classic example of spam. Vitally rules Google. So you'll find lots of such examples. So again, look, if you look at this one, open image in a new tab. You see this again. Secret.google.com, you're invited. 00800.com search shell is much better than Google. It all appears under language. This is all spam data. It's coming from sources like Reddit, Twitter, Lifehacker, and secret.google.com, Vitally. So this is going to happen with most Google Analytics accounts if you're not taking care of it. Okay. Now your account may get some different results. So I could go and do something like this in the language. Stop any traffic which has, let's say, 00800.com in the language, or secret in the language, or Vitally, or Trump, or any such thing. So this is a way to stop, or basically stop any spam data appearing into Google Analytics. Now, don't just randomly put something over here, because like I said, it will differ from one analytics account to another, one Google Analytics account to another. But I do have a little guide here from Moz. This basically talks about basically keeping your analytics data clean. And this is something you may want to read in much more detail. So I'm going to copy this and share this with you in the chat section. Looks like there's a feedback going on, so please fill it up first. All right.
Thank you, Chandan.
Thank you, Anand. So looks like it's done. I'm just going to paste the link for you guys. Please refer to this. This will give you some ideas on keeping your Google Analytics clean. The data should be clean. So check that out. Sanchita has a question, how to install the GA tag. Okay, that's actually very simple. So go to Google Analytics, go to admin. If you already have created your Google Analytics account, it will, you can find the tag inside of your admin section, inside of your property settings. So go to tracking info right here. So admin, select your account and property and go to tracking info and click on tracking code. This will give you the tracking code. Here is the global site tag or the Google Analytics tag. Again, if you're using Google Analytics or Google Ads, this code is going to be the same, right? So whether you get this here or whether you get this in Google Ads, you only need to use one of them. So copy this and go to your website and paste it into the head section of your website. Now, how to do this? Most websites today are built on CMSs, and most CMSs, content management systems, offer you one or the other way of pasting a code inside of your website. So if you're using WordPress, which is the most popular CMS, you can go to your site. For example, I can go to one of my sites. Let's go to this one, thisgrowth.com/wp-admin. This is something that must have been covered in your LMS as well. But yeah, I mean, just to show that to you quickly. Okay, it's going to ask me for my two-factor authentication. This is a security feature for my site. Just give me 1 second. Where is my authorization authenticator? It's right there, and the code is 375340. 375340. So this basically prevents any hackers from entering my website because this code changes every minute. This is a default WordPress site, by the way. So in WordPress, there are multiple ways of adding this code. I use a plugin called Insert Headers and Footers. So if you are using Google, sorry, not Google. If you're using WordPress, you know how to install plugins. You simply go to plugins, click on add new. Again, there are multiple ways in which you can do this in WordPress. This is the way which I use. So plugins, find a plugin called Insert Headers and Footers. Search for Insert Headers and Footers. There you go, Insert Headers and Footers, and install it. I've already installed it, so it says active. So basically click on install and then activate it. Once it's activated, you'll find it inside of settings. So settings, and you'll find Insert Headers and Footers right there. And let me just delete whatever code is there. So this is how it will look like in the beginning for you, completely blank. Just copy that Google Analytics code and paste it right here into the header section. That's it. So this will ensure that the code gets copied to every single page on your website, and then Google can start tracking every single page of your website. So you basically install a plugin. There are, again, like I said, multiple ways of doing this, but this is one of the easiest. So install a plugin called Headers, Insert Headers and Footers. Once it's installed, you'll find this in settings here, and then paste it right there. That's it. So again, like I said, different CMSs have different options. For example, if you're using a Shopify-based website, I'll quickly show that also. I have one called Sycor. This is again a demo site. I take a lot of classes on Shopify. I work directly with the Shopify team in India. So I've recently been taking a lot of classes on Shopify. So if you're using Shopify, you have something called online store, and you got preferences, and there you have this ability to add Google Analytics code, right? So if I'm tracking this, I would basically paste the code right here, and that's it. This sets up my Google Analytics on Shopify also. So again, whether you're using WordPress or Shopify or Drupal or Joomla or Magento or WooCommerce or whatever you're using, there is a way to install code. Refer to the documentation or search online, you will find this. Okay, I hope that answers the question. Yes, it gets installed on all the pages. So once you install something in the header, it gets installed on all the pages automatically. I mean, think about it. You cannot manually do it, right? So if you have a site with 1 million pages, can you install it manually on million pages? You cannot. But once you install it into the header, it automatically gets on all the pages. This is how you do it. All right, so that's done. Okay, so again, multiple ways of doing this. I'm just going to leave, not save any changes. All right, so that's about spam, and this is how you make sure that you avoid spam. All right, let's close all of this. I gave you the link as well. Read it in a bit more detail to figure out what's happening, and that's it. So I also talked about how you combine different dimensions. So whenever somebody asks you questions like this, look at the question itself. I'm looking at it, I'm saying, okay, I'm seeing two different dimensions here, so I need to basically combine dimensions. Sometimes you may even want to filter results, right? So in this case, I had to even filter it out, right? So I had to use mobile sessions and direct traffic, and then I had to filter only for mobile traffic, right? So all of this is something that you need to think about and then go ahead and do it, okay? So even though these are good enough, they give you data on, like, what's happening, who came to the site, how did they come to the site, what they did, and what are the results for you. You can basically start combining these results and get even more data. So combine the dimensions, use filters, and that will give you some pretty interesting results. Another way of getting even better data, or making your data more specific, is by creating something called segments. Segmentation is extremely important for Google Analytics. You cannot be a successful, or you cannot create insightful reports or actionable reports if you are not creating segments. Okay, so for example, if I look at I don't know, let's do that same report which I just looked at a moment ago. Let's look at behavior. Let's look at site content, landing pages. and I'm basically going to add a secondary dimension of country. So I'm going to choose India. Oops, not India, sorry. Country first. Choose a secondary dimension of country, right? So I got landing page and country, and then I only want to look at India. So I can look at, I can basically go to my advanced, include country containing India, right? So this, and I can click on apply. So see, there are two things that happened over here. One, since I wanted to look at that same report, I had to create this one more time, right? And I'm looking at the wrong site. So let's actually go to the Google demo account. So demo account, merchant store, and you can pick any view. I'm just going to go with raw data view. So let it load. Come on, do it fast. Sometimes Google will get stuck like this. So what you do is simply click on refresh. I mean, hit enter on the URL. If the loading happens for too long, right? And yeah, I'm back there. So landing page, India, advanced filter is on, and I'm only looking at India, right? But look at the revenue column. It's all zero. It's all zero, right? The fact is nobody uses the Google Merchant Store from India because the products are shipped from United States. They don't ship to India, first of all. So even though, let me open this analytics one more time. In fact, you know what? Let's ignore that. Let's go to the Google Merchant Store. Let's say I want to buy something. Let's go to I don't know, lifestyle. Let's say go to drinkware. I want to buy a bottle. I'm in India. I want to buy a bottle, right? So let me show you something interesting. I love this bottle. Like, looks really good. Even this looks even better. It's kind of made of cork. So this one, cork based tumbler. Even this is cork based. I love this. Kind of like this. Let's buy this. It's $28. Add to cart. Go to shopping cart. Let me want to buy this. And then I kind of, everything is good. Let's continue to check out. I am signed in already. So what happened here? I'm not really sure. I'm signed in. Okay. Click the button below to sign in. I am signed in, right? So why am I getting this? I'm not sure. But like I said, this site is very poor. So you can expect unwanted results. And they ship only to Canada and USA, right? So if I am somebody working at Google Merchant Store, traffic coming from India is of no use to me, right? Because this is something that is useless to me. I can see this revenue is zero, and it's true. And the reason it is so is because they only ship to US and Canada, right? So if I go to the analytics data, come back to Google Analytics, and if I go back to my geo data, so audience and geo and location, I see India, UK, Canada sending a lot of traffic, right? They don't even ship to India and United States. They only ship to US and Canada. But all these countries like India, UK, France, Japan, they're basically adding up to the traffic numbers, but they're of no significance or no consequence to the company itself, right? Google is not even shipping to those people. The merchant store is not shipping to those people, right? So I am only interested in looking at traffic from United States and Canada because those are the only places from where people buy. So what can I do? I can do this, of course. I can add wherever I go, I add a secondary dimension of country. I'm already in the country one, so I cannot find country, but let's go to some other report. Let's go to let's go to acquisition and let's go to channels just to show you what I mean here. So one way I can only look at traffic coming from US and Canada is this. I can create a secondary dimension of country. Right? Choose country. And in my advanced filter, I only want to include that traffic where the country includes United States, and I can add another one. Again, country includes. Hang on. Or you know what? I can do this just to make it simpler. Country contains this United, and I'm not going to use containing, I'll use matching regular expression where it says United States, or again, the pipe character means or, Canada. I can do this, and I can apply this, and it'll start to work for me. And this will only show me traffic coming from United States and Canada, right? That works. But the problem is, if I move to some other report, like I don't know, let's say I move to tree maps for some reason, and then I come back to channels, that filter is gone, right? So do I have to create the filter again? That's too much of a headache, right? And I know that since traffic from United States and Canada is the only one which is relevant to me, does it mean that every report I go to, I have to manually add those dimensions? So if I go to, let's say, demographics, I want to figure out which country, which are the most important demographics to me, or which are the most relevant age, people by age to me. Again, this includes all countries, right? So do I need to again do this same thing, go to advanced and kind of include country as India and Canada? That's a tedious task, right? So if you find yourself using a filter very, very frequently, too many times, instead of using it as a filter right here, what you do is you create a segment out of it. A segment is permanent. A filter is temporary. A segment is permanent. You save that segment and you can use it whenever you want. Okay. So how to create segments? You go all the way up to the top. You see something called all users. So I'm looking at a segment of all of my users, right? Now to add more segments, click anywhere in this top area. I can click here or I can click here, doesn't really matter. Click anywhere and you will get to this segment. And you can see there are some built-in segments for you by default. So I'm looking at all segments. All segments consist of some predefined segments. So Google Analytics by default includes a lot of segments which are built for you, and some segments that you can build. So all basically includes everything. And if you go to system, these are all the segments created by Google Analytics by default. These are system-based segments. And I can look at, maybe I just want to look at mobile traffic. I can maybe look at only paid traffic or search traffic, but I do not have any United States traffic. I don't see this, right? So what I do is I can create my own segment. So click on new segment. And like I said, I'm only interested in United States and Canada. So I can go to demographics right here at the top, and I can go to location where the country contains United States, or I can again do a regular expression. Regular expression basically means instead of matching completely with something, you're basically matching with partial stuff. Regex basically means regular expressions. And honestly, if you want to kind of again master Google Analytics, you should be a master of regular expressions. So go to Google and search for regular expressions, maybe tutorial or something like this. Find something that makes sense, and find something. Okay, this one, for example, regex one, learn regular expressions, and try to understand how regular expressions work. Okay, that will, trust me, help you a lot in in your career as a marketer. So these are all the ways in which regular expressions can be used. Again, I'm not going to go into that right now. I'm just giving you a resource that you can use. Search on YouTube or anywhere else, but try to master regular expressions. These are going to be very important, right? So I can do this. But here's a big tip that I'm going to give you. I never use any of these default or kind of ready-made segments like demographics, technology. I never use any of them. I always go to conditions, because everything that you find here is also available in conditions, but conditions is much more flexible, much more powerful than any of these methods. Okay, so what I always do whenever I want to create a condition is I go whenever I want to create a segment is I go to conditions, and I basically create my own condition. So I want a segment where the country, again, I can find country matches United States, or again, that pipe character. So this is that straight line character you find just above the enter key, or Canada, right? And once you click outside, look at the right-hand side. It will update and tell you how much of the traffic is actually coming from United States and Canada. So if I kind of delete this, cut this out. Right now, I'm looking at 100% of the users, but the moment I include this kind of regex, it's a very simple regex, but regex can get very complicated. But I'm just telling Google, give me only those countries which contain either United States or Canada. And I see that it is 43.85% of all users. And I can save this as US and Canada traffic only, or just do US and Canada traffic. Click on save. And now this is a permanent segment that I've created. It's going to remain in my account, and I can use it anytime I want. Plus, it never goes away. So give it some chance to save it. I don't know why is my internet slow, or what's wrong? Doesn't take so much time. Just quick internet check. Yeah, it got it. So, I got a pretty fast speed right now, 300 Mbps. I don't think it's my net. I think it's Google Google server that is actually running slow. So I got a pretty decent speed. So that's okay. So see, now this segment has applied US and Canada traffic only. And wherever I go to now, if I go to acquisition and I go to all traffic and I go to channels, again, I'm only looking at US and Canada traffic only because I ship only to US and Canada. And when I say I mean Google Merchant Store. So I only ship to US and Canada, and these are the only people which are relevant to me. And I'm going to look at all of this stuff and like, okay, this is now much more relevant to me. All this organic traffic is only coming from US and Canada. All this social traffic is coming only from US and Canada, and I'm looking at a report that works for me. Anywhere I go to now, this report will be there. It will not change at all. If I go to, let's say, just to check this, if I go back to audience and geography and choose location, remember my filter is only US and Canada. So if I go to geography and location, I think it's obvious that I will only see United States and Canada right here because that's the segment which I've applied, right? Awesome. And you can even combine segments. You can have multiple segments. So let's create one more segment. So let's create a segment where I'm going to say, only show me people who have purchased something on the site. I do not want to look at people who have not done anything. I want to understand, what do people who purchase do on the website? What are their behaviors? I want to kind of learn from these people. So let's only look at people who have purchased at least something from the website. So those who have just come to the site and never bought anything, I'm going to ignore them, right? So I'm going to do this. I'm going to create a new segment, and I'll create a segment called valuable customers, because these are just do this, visitors with value. Come on, think of anything. Visitors that bought something, right? So visitors that bought or visitors that purchased. I can get a little finicky sometimes, but that's okay. Visitors that purchased. And what I want to do here is, again, I never use any of these things. I can go to enhanced e-commerce and find things like revenue per user greater than 0 or something like that. I can do that, but I always use conditions for everything. So I go to conditions and I'll say this: show me only users where transactions. So within e-commerce, I have something called transactions. So transactions per session per visit was greater than or equal to 1, right? So only show me those people who bought something, right? And I see that's about 800 users, 0.17% of everyone. So now I can apply that filter as well. So I have now 2 different filters applied: US and Canada, as well as visitors that purchase. And if I go to any other report now, so let's say I once again go to behavior and site content and I don't know, landing pages or all pages, doesn't matter. But what I see now is reports from people, who are coming from United States and Canada, and also about visitors that purchased. You could also have created one segment that included both of them. So people from United States and Canada and purchase as well. I'm now looking at them separately. So this is the US and Canada traffic, and this is the visitors that purchased. But all of my home pages now see those 2 results. one, people coming from this, and then visitors that purchased. Okay, so all of this data is here, but if you want to combine them, you could do that as well. So I could go to this one. Let's say I copy this one. So I'm going to copy this US and Canada traffic only. So you see how beautiful and how powerful these reports are now getting. So I just copied this and I came across a new one where I say the country matches this and transactions. Oops, I don't see transactions anymore. Why is that? Just give me one more second. Yeah, there we go. I think I mistyped something. So transactions per session greater than equal to 1. Okay. Now I can give it a new name. I call it US Canada purchasers and click on save. Now this will basically add as a third segment. So I now have 3 segments. I'm not interested in this, so I'm going to close this. So I'm just going to right click and click on this. Hang on, cancel. Click on this triangle here and close it. Or you can even drag and drop and move it and put it outside somewhere. That will also delete that segment. So delete it. And again, I can delete this one also, drag and drop, put it somewhere on the outside, and that gets deleted as well. And now I'm only looking at traffic which has come from US and Canada and has purchased something. Now this is excellent. I can basically look at all the reports. I can understand how and why these people bought, what are their behaviors, how can I kind of duplicate that behavior with other users, what are the highly important pages for them, which pages like homepage bought us the highest revenue. I can sort it by revenue, for example, and I can see that homepage is the most valuable page for me because all of this is the one that has contributed to the highest revenue, and so on and so forth, right? So this is something that again, like I said, I'm basically taking these reports just to the next level right now. Does it make sense to all of you? What segments are now and how important they can be for basically getting insightful data now? All right, perfect. So that's segments. So again, we now have a lot of control. We can combine a secondary dimension with our primary dimension, and we can filter them out. But if I find myself using a specific filter, a lot of times I can simply create a segment for it, save it, and use it whenever I want. So that's how these segments work. Right, so that's perfect. What else? There are a couple more things I would. The next thing I want to talk about is basically something called, funnels. So let's try and show you that. So for funnels, I'll give you an example of what's really happening. So I have a site here, not a site, a landing page. The site is also brand new, so not too much data here, but there is some data. So there's something called, this page is called TACMOS. I'm just going to copy the URL. Go to this one, and here's my landing page. LP stands for landing page. So I'm basically, I also love coding, and during these summers, summer vacation, I started a kind of a campaign called Coding for Kids, where I was basically teaching Python and Java to kids aged 7 to 15. So I created this landing page, and I was driving traffic to this using Google ads and Facebook ads and so on, right? So this is what I was doing. So let's see how this page has been performing for me, right? So here's the landing page, and this is basically doing lead generation for me. I'm basically sending people to this page so that they can sign up for a free trial class, and then this is the whole process. This is the whole flow. Once they see my ads, click on it, they come to this landing page, they can read about it, and then finally they click on sign up for the free class here, or they can click on the sign up button here. Either way, they go to this page where they can, let me copy this first, and this is the trial class URL. Let me zoom out a little bit. Okay, so this is the trial class page. And here people basically go to the calendar. They can pick up a date which is comfortable for them. And once they pick up a date, again, right now I'm not running this campaign, so I'm not created any date, so people cannot select any date right now. But people can select a date, and once they select a date, they enter their email address and their name. And once they hit submit, they go to a thank you page. So this page looks like this. This is the thank you page. So once they submit, they will go to the thank you page, right? Now I could not submit because this form is not working right now. I basically put this on a pause right now. I'm not taking any more classes, any more batches. But once this is open, people will find a date, fill in the email address and phone number and name. And once they submit, they will go to this third page, which is the final confirmation page. So this is the thank you page for me. All right. So this is the flow for me, right? I'm sending people. So let's say via either ads or organic. So I'm running campaigns across organic searches, across social media, across ads. I was even able to rank this page actually on Google. So if I go to Google, if I search for the one keyword that was, even though it's a new site, I was actually going for this coding for kids masterclass. And the page actually ranks somewhere. Was it masterclass or was it boot camp? I'm not really sure. I think it was boot camp. Like I said, it's a brand new page. I was primarily driving traffic through paid ads, but I think it was ranking for. I think I lost that or something happened, but it was ranking for at least one of these keywords. Looks like since I've stopped doing it right now, it's not ranking, but yeah, it used to rank. Anyway, that's not the point. The thing is, it was ranking and I was sending traffic via either search. Come on, where's the page? Via ads or organic or social to these pages, right? So people came to this page. The flow would be they would go to this page and finally they would go to this page. Now this thank you page is not directly available to people, right? Nobody knows about this page. The only way they can get to this page is by filling up the form on this page, right? So by keeping a track of how many people saw this page, I can keep a track of how many leads I got, right? So all I need to do to calculate my leads is how many people came to this page, because like I said, people cannot come to this page directly because they don't know this page exists. Plus this page I have basically blocked from search engines. Search engines cannot index this page. So people can only come to this page from this page, right? But I mean, counting my leads is fine. I can count the number of people coming here and that's okay. But I also want to kind of improve the performance. I want to see how many people came to this page, and from here, how many people went to this page? What was the conversion percentage of this page? If a lot of people coming to this page are not going to this page, it basically means that there's something wrong with this page. Maybe I'm not able to convince people better. Maybe I need better call to action. Maybe the content on this page, kind of needs work. So if I go back again, maybe content needs work. Maybe I need to add some videos, or maybe I need to make my value proposition much more stronger. Maybe this headline doesn't work for me. So whatever, if people are not going from here to here, the problem lies on this page. But if people are going from here to this page, but still not signing too much, if I can go back to the second page, it could mean that maybe the form is not working, or maybe there's some other issue. They're not submitting this, right? So I know that if people click from here to here, they are interested in signing up for a demo class. But if they are not doing this here, it could be a technical glitch or something that they do not like on this page, or maybe this calendar doesn't work properly on mobile devices. Could be any number of reasons, right? So I would need to test this. Okay, so how do I do this? So I need to create this whole funnel inside of Google Analytics like this. I'll go to Analytics and I will go to Admin. And again, I cannot create any goals inside of Google Merchant Store because I do not have edit access to this. So I'll switch back to my site. I have tons of them because I take so many classes and I create so many dummy accounts. I need to kind of start cleaning them at some point in time. But now I can click on goals right here, and I can create a goal. I see that I have a couple of goals here. I'm just going to delete this one because this is the one which I'm actually tracking. So I'm going to select this one, and I can turn it off if I want. I don't want to use this. I will basically create a new one right now. So you can click on new goal, right? And again, you can choose a template if you want. It doesn't really make a difference. I always start off with custom. I don't ever choose a template, and honestly, it doesn't make any difference at all. If you choose sign up here and then then go ahead, it will pretty much give you the same option. But I start with a blank slate, so I choose custom, click on continue, give it a name. So I'll call it signed up for trial coding for kids class. Sign up for trial. Let's call it TACMOS. Okay, so sign up for trial, and again, leave everything. I'll leave the goal slot ID default. It pretty much means that in Google Analytics, you can create up to 20 different goals. And to be honest, most cases, you don't need more than 5 or 6 goals. 20 is too much, so 20 is more than enough. So you basically, go from 1, 2, 3, 4 all the way up to 20. You can see that I have already created 2 goals. So slots 1 and 2 are taken. Next slot would be 3. Then the next goal will be going to 4, 5, and so on. And all these are divided into different sets. So again, this does nothing. It's purely for organization purposes. So what happens is, if I have 3 or 4 goals, I'm not going to bother about sets at all. But if I have too many goals, like 10 or 15 goals, I don't know why you would have 10 to 15 goals, but if you do, you can basically club them together into sets. Okay. So for example, all of your purchase related goals could go into goal set 1. Okay, so choose goal set 1, 2, 3, or 5 for all of your transaction related goals. All your engagement related goals, for example, could go into goal set 2. So 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10. All your content related goals could be inside of 3, 4, 3, and so on. So again, this is purely for organization. I don't even bother with this because in most cases I have like 3 or 4 goals only. There will be one primary goal on any website and a few secondary goals. So that's pretty much it. So leave that. Don't bother about this. What is the type? Type is the destination, right? Because I want to track people who go from here all the way to here, right? So destination. This is the final destination page. So I'll choose destination, click on continue, and I'm going to say the final destination. Okay, I'm not talking about that movie, by the way. The final page, the final destination equals this, right? That's done. But I also want to create a funnel. If you want to give it a value, you can do it. It's totally up to you. I'm not going to give it a value right now. So if you know how much a lead is worth to you, you can give the value right here. But I'm going to say the funnel is, I want to set up my funnel now. The first step on that funnel is landing page, right? So let's just call it landing page visit. So visited the landing page, and this page has a URL of this one. Paste. Second step is this one, and this is trial page. Let's say a trial calendar page, right? So if they go here, they're basically allowed to select up a trial on the calendar, right? So trial via calendar, maybe I can call this, right? So these are my 2, and then of course from here, if they go to this page, then my goal is completed and I basically get a conversion. So I'm going to save this. Perfect, it's done now. Now, how does it look like? So for this, I will switch back to the Google demo account because they have a funnel like this. So let's go to the demo account. Go to raw data view. You see, they have also created a lot of goals. Even though you cannot create new goals or make any changes, you can see how Google created their own goals. So for example, if you want to check engaged users, click on it, click on edit anywhere and see what they have done. See, even Google is using custom, just the exact same way which I'm doing. So they went to this one, custom. Then what they did here was, instead of goal description, they called it engaged users, and they chose the option of pages per screens. And then the goal detail was, they're basically tracking anyone who saw more than 10 pages at a time, right? So screens are basically for mobile devices. Pages are for websites. So pages or screens greater than 10 is basically indicates that, okay, somebody who sees 10 pages or more are obviously more engaged, right? So they're basically capturing how many engaged users are there. So cancel out of it. You can at least see how Google has created their a funnel. So I think for the most important funnel for them is going to be this one, purchase completed, right? Let's check this. I'll go directly to the goal details and see how they made it. So they have this option. They're not tracking value. They must be tracking value, but using a different technique. To be honest, if you're on an e-commerce site and if you want to track value, because every product has a different value, you have to use something called the Google Tag Manager for this. But again, we'll not talk about that right now. But you see this is their final page. And instead of using the direct page, they're actually using a regular expression, order completed. I don't think you can see this, but it says order completed. And here are the steps. People who go to the cart, then to billing and shipping, then to payment, then to review, and so on, right? So let's see how this looks like. Now, once you have created a funnel like this, you'll see this inside of conversions and goals and funnel visualization. Okay, and you can from the top choose the goal that you're interested in. Again, I'm interested in purchase completed, so that's there by default. And you can go down, and this is a beautiful report that shows me exactly what happened on the website. I can see how many people came from put something in the cart, right? So where's that page? Did I close it? I think I did. So again, this basically shows you how many people on the Google Merchant Store put something in the cart, okay? And after putting something in the cart, this is really surprising. More than 80% people actually left the site. Why is that? If somebody is putting something in the cart, I'm guessing that they are looking to buy something, right? Why are they, basically moving away? So I would have to create some hypothesis. Now, I know that Google is not bothered about the site, but if I was in charge of improving the site, I would basically try to check what's going wrong and see why this is happening. I will create some hypothesis, test it out, look at the data within Google Analytics and see if I can make a difference. So let's say I am going to, again, I don't know, stationery or lifestyle. Again, let's go to drinkware. Pick up any product, add to cart. Let's look at the process. Go to shopping cart. And I see something, I see a couple of items in my account right now. I can now go to checkout. And look at this. This is like a huge form, right? I mean, who would ever want to fill such a huge form? This is not only looking obsolete. This is also such a pain to, fill up such a big form. So I'm not definitely going to do that. I'm definitely going to move out of this. But let's say you were patient enough and you filled this form and you kind of, took all the time to fill this and then you clicked on continue. I see this data because I actually did another class and I filled in all the data. Now, another problem is I only see one payment option, only a credit card, right? What if I want to pay by net banking or with PayPal or cash on delivery? I do not have that option. So you know what? Honestly, if I was here and if I was looking for cash on delivery, I would not go ahead. I would basically close the window. Also, I see that all of a sudden, not all of a sudden, in fact, that's okay. Hang on. Shipping got added. $6 shipping got added. Why would $6 is a huge amount. I'm buying something worth $20 and I'm getting a shipping of $6. That's too much. In the US, again, a single dollar matters a lot, right? And $6 is a lot of shipping. So another reason people, I think, would leave the payment or shipping method if there is a lot of shipping. So again, I see two big problems: shipping and only one payment method. Now, I am guessing that a lot of people would leave this page at the payment or shipping method. Is my hypothesis correct? Let's check. So let's go to the analytics. Here is payment page. And what I see here is more than 80% people leaving the page. So I think my hypothesis is correct now, right? Either the shipping or the fact that they do not have multiple payment options, one of these is driving people away, right? So this is my hypothesis. How would I confirm this? I would create another version of this page where I would put shipping to 0 just to check that. And I would create a third version of the page where I would provide them with other payment options besides credit card and see if it increases the number of people going from this stage to this stage, right? So again, I have to create a hypothesis and then check it by setting that test up and then using Google Analytics to see if that has resulted in an improved performance or not, right? So again, I can clearly see that people are living at every single stage. First of all, they're signing up process is very complicated, so most people left here. Billing and shipping was a very, very difficult page, and a lot of people left here. But look at people who put something in the cart. They were brave enough to enter the billing and shipping information, and they continued to the payment. But these people had a very high intent, right? I'm pretty sure that they wanted to buy something desperately. But even after doing all these 3 steps, most people left. This is something I would worry about if this was a real site. And I think this is something that I would need to check. From there, a lot of people went to the review section. I'm surprised to see why people left at the review stage. Now, I cannot check this because to go to the review stage, I have to enter my credit card info. I don't want to do this right now. But coming back, I would need to see why somebody who put something in the cart, filled up that really, really big, billing and shipping page, agreed to the payment and the shipping, and then came to the review and then left, right? That is like almost 50% people left here, right? 40% in this case. Why did that happen? I have no idea. And finally, only 861 people completed the purchase. So out of 65,000 people who put something in the cart, only about 1% people completed. Now I would say that's a dismal rate. It's kind of expected because the site is to be honest, it's a pathetic site. It's only used for testing now. And I'm happy that Google is basically giving this data for free. But yeah, other than that, if it was a real e-commerce site, there are so many reasons why this should fail. And the story is right here in the form of data, right? Everything is clearly being told to me. But again, all of this data has to be created. You have to go to your own website, figure out what is working for you, what is the process that people use, and then set it up, and you'll be getting all of this beautiful data right here. So again, I'm only touching upon like 1% of all the intermediate to advanced stuff that you can do with Google Analytics, but I believe that is still quite a bit from what you have learned in your basic classes. And Google Analytics is much, much more than that. If you go to admin, there are tons of brilliant options like, setting up your audiences and passing that audience data into Google Ads, for example, to use that for retargeting and other stuff. You can do your custom definitions. You can do tons of amazing stuff with this. But again, thanks to time constraints, we are basically going to stop at this point. So hopefully we covered some useful stuff. I hope you guys kind of like or enjoyed the session. Some of it will look a little bit complicated, so don't worry about it. The session, I believe, is being recorded. So once you get access to the recorded video, watch it a few more times. Before that, make sure to complete the basic course on the Upgrad LMS, and then make sure that you go through all of the video at least a couple of times. Practice it with the demo accounts, and then trust me, it will make a lot of sense. Right, so I hope all of this is clear. Sanchita had a question, why don't they improve all of this? Being Google, like I said, Google is not at all worried about the site. They're not focusing on the site at all. It's just that, they've left it so that they can use it to provide demo data to other people. If they wanted to improve it, trust me, Google has one of the best UIs. Their team is one of the best when it comes to user interfaces. They can transform into something beautiful, but they're not interested. Just that's the main reason. All right, guys, so that's all for now. Once the feedback is done, let me know how you found the session, if this was engaging to you guys. And if you kind of thought that this was a little too complicated, that's only because this is something that requires you to be completely comfortable with the Google Analytics interface, be aware of all the tools and options and so on. Once that's done, you will be able to kind of appreciate whatever we have done in this session.
Thank you so much, Chandan, for such an interesting and insightful session. This has actually helped us all our learners. And yes, so let's catch up soon in our upcoming sessions. Thank you, learners, for making it happen over a weekend afternoon. And thank you, Chandan, once again.
Yep, thank you. All right, guys. Take care. Have a good weekend. Have fun.
Bye-bye. Have a good day.